I too am so white as snow. Also, greetings. How is everyone? Anyone watching the VOD is going to wonder what the hell I was just saying. It might make more sense, because they can't actually hear the music. Yeah. Hey, Dogman. But I couldn't really decide what game I felt like playing today for the first part of my stream, so I just went with Power Wash Sim. Easy, lazy, gives me time to organize my thoughts. And I've been wanting to get back into this anyway. That looks pretty nasty. And there's a very good chance I'll be jumping back into more Outer Worlds again at some point today. How do people not realize that there's something under here? Literally called roof and roof sign top. I mean, it's pretty cool that it's like I'm assuming some kind of restaurant stand thing, like a hot dog thing, but in the ground. But I've seen so many videos of people who are like, oh, we're done. Like, not going to suddenly pop up on them. Ew. That did not clean very well at all. I'll just run over it a second time, that's fine. Yep, yep. Like one of those laser engravers. Because I'm much slower. Could be a nice quick job, eh? Yeah, you're trying to tell me that it was just this. No, it's definitely not just this. I'm not stupid. I'm cleaning a roof, I'm probably going to have to clean the insides as well. It's a bit of a giveaway, unfortunately, that the thing actually has roof written on it up in the top corner. This is actually taking way too long. So, yesterday, Michelle asked me if there was a game I wanted, like I was interested in getting. And at the time, I was like, oh yeah, no, not really. I kind of got them all. Right after stream, I raided Cletus, and somebody in his chat mentioned that Tavern Keeper was being released like in an hour after I finished my stream. I'm like, ah, yeah, that figures. The game I actually want to play. uh, I think it's also in early access, so I've got time. I don't know how much is in the early access. They did have a demo though, and demos usually mean that they've got a fair amount of content, and they actually release. Usually, not always. But it looks like a fun little humorous game. It's from the same people who made Game Dev Tycoon some years back, which was well known for a lot of people for the fact that the devs put into the code a way of detecting if you hadn't purchased the game, if you had sneakily acquired it, and it would actually give you a response based on that, where you, I think you actually had a random event that happened that was called piracy, software piracy or something, and you had to deal with that. And I think it meant that you lost, like you didn't get as much money for whatever software you released, because it was obviously getting pirated. So they're like, oh, that's funny. I thought that was pretty clever. That was a few years ago now when I first played it. I think I played it, want to say It was a gift from Paul, but I may have actually bought that one myself. But I played it years ago now. I like the game. And the demo for Cabin Keeper seemed pretty cool. Seemed like a lot of fun. So I'll have to check that out at some point. I was watching Charlie Pryor, I think his name is. I don't watch him very often, as you can tell. Play it just before stream. Oh, that's not the right nozzle. How did I do that? Not that one, it's 2. No, it's not 2. 1. Not 1. Wait, there we go, that's what I'm doing. Not my first day, I swear. Do. Ding. But I have a bunch of other games to check out still, so I'll be getting to that one much later, I think. And as those of you who may have looked in my Discord already might know, I have plans this Friday for me, Thursday for Americans. Friday stream, because I don't stream on Thursdays. Need to figure out if there's a way I can quickly reset that software-wise instead of having to just physically unplug the damn thing. There may be. Wrong button. That button. Getting annoying because that's happening more frequently. It makes me think that the computer is slowly dying. Well, I mean, I know it's slowly dying, but makes me think that it's dying quicker than I expected. Alright. Clear off the top here. It's gonna... You're gonna ding. Do I have an under bit that I missed? Probably. There we go. And... Yeah, there's no surprise. I already knew it was there. Seriously, it's called roof. Also, that was surprised to be like, yeah, surprise! Here's a bigger bill. But yes, as I was saying, Friday for me, because again I don't stream Thursday, is going to be, hopefully, if I can get enough people. I'm still waiting. I've heard back from 5 people and 4 are, yeah, I should be available, which isn't yes, but then it's very hard to get anyone to ever say yes at this point. The best I can ask for is a, yeah, I should be. One was, I don't know. So, any I don't knows, it's got the word no in it. I generally take it as a no unless they say otherwise. That's not to say that, you know, I don't think that they're trying or anything. It's just that some people don't know, but I can't plan around and I don't know. I can plan around, yes, I should be, and then I'll be disappointed if no one turns up. That's just, you know, my sad panda moment. It is what it is, though. But yeah. I go with the I don't know as being a no, which I learnt from friends that just would say, I don't know if I can make it to whatever event I planned, and then they never turn up, like never. So I just assume no all the time now. But we are planning to hopefully, I'm just going to do around the corners here now, do a streaming session of at least 3. I haven't found any other games to play yet. I don't have a term for them that I don't want to use the one that everyone calls it. Of the massive friend games, I'm going to call them. A lot of them are only 4 players, but we always play them with like more than 4. So the games we're playing is Peak. Peak has a new biome coming out, and there's at least two people I know that want to check it out as soon as it comes out. Probably more than 2, but no one's kind of made any plans to do so. So I figured, screw it, I'll add that to the list, and then we do have plans for it. By the way, hi Stipple. I didn't say hi to you before. The other 2 are Repo. Repo hasn't got new levels or anything, but it has got new monsters. Want to check those out. I'm going to see if there's a new level mod to play, because that might be fun. But if there isn't, we'll just play with the existing levels. It's fine. And the third game is Are We There Yet? Which we played. No! No! Give me more! Why does that run out? I didn't realize that stopped. It does, though. That's fine. I'll spray this while that resets. We played it... Oh, when did we play it? A week ago or something now? It was a lot of fun, though it had some stability issues. Everyone crashed at least once, including the host. The host is really the only one that matters, though. Anyone else can just rejoin in, but if the host disconnects, then you have to start back at the last checkpoint, which is annoying. But the game, the developers actually have said this, like they've got a post about it, that the game has, oh, wrong button, has the ability built in already for more players, essentially a more players mod. It's just not officially supported. So it'll work. People have said it works, but it might have some unexpected side effects. I figure game already has some unexpected side effects of crashing randomly. That it's not going to be the end of the world if we have to reconnect a few times here or there. I figure. You know, we may get frustrated with it, in which case I don't know what we'll do. We'll have a backup game probably. I need more SUD power. Thing's gonna run out. It always runs out. I think is actually based on how much you have sprayed, just to prevent there being too much of whatever the hell particles this is using. Or it looks like textures, so who knows? Maybe it's not particles. How you doing, Tiger? Dun, 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 dun. That will hopefully be this Friday, Thursday for Americans. Like I said, I've already gotten 4 people saying they should be there. Technically I have a 5th, but I like to reconfirm before I say anything. That's with Necro, because Necro being a shift worker, you never know if things might change. Brucey might be joining too. Necro's got to see about that. For those who don't know, Bruce is Necro's partner, and he's a very boisterous and what's the term? Outgoing, I guess, is really just the lazy term I'm going to use. Kind of guy. That it's a fun person to have around. I can see why Necro likes at least was interested in enough to start dating. I don't actually know why Necro likes Bruce because I don't know Bruce personally. But we don't get to gang with Brucey much, and I'd like to. Unfortunately, Hogfan is working that week, so he can't join, sadly. Kenshin is the I don't know at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. If anyone else wants to join that I haven't sent the message to, please feel free to check the Discord and post in there if you'd like to join. You're not, like, obligated to join if you do actually say you'd like to join. I would prefer it if people did, but understandably things happen over time. Oh, yeah. Well, the time change always screws me. I think that daylight saving should just be done with. Like, I don't care what reasons they've got. It causes too much of a screw around for the rest of the damn world. And it's really not necessary. It's worse with the fact that Americans' times, daylight saving time is different to Australians. And I'm pretty sure there's a few other different time shifts around the world. I'd have to check. Hey Ulysses, how you doing? But I know that at the very least, Americans' daylight saving seems to shift an hour, a month after the Australian one does, in the same direction, which is really frustrating. By that I mean, if we go forward an hour, America goes forward an hour. Well, it's the other way around, but when I'm looking at the time to match up with people, normally, for instance, Paul would start at, well, a couple of months ago, Paul would start at my 12 o'clock, give or take, 12 p.m. Now he actually starts at my 2 p.m. Kenshin's the same. Kenshin usually starts at 2 p.m. Now he'll be starting at 4 p.m. And it's frustrating because that's only this month that it happened. Last month, it was only 1 hour difference. And the month before that, of course, it was the normal time. So I've just got to keep track of that. I almost forgot this time when Paul was streaming yesterday. Why I started so late is I honestly thought that Paul wasn't going to be streaming. I was about to start another game. And then realized, oh wait, no, the daylight saving shift happened. And he's actually not late for his normal time. I'm just an hour early. Also, I thought this was a restaurant, also like a food thing, like a hot dog stand or something. I didn't realize it was a toilet. Definitely charge extra for toilets. Especially public toilets. Look at this filth. The other annoying thing is why I've actually waited this long to plan for thing on Friday. If I plan something and I don't use a timestamp in Discord, I just try to figure it out myself, it's going to be wrong. Because daylight saving is going to change the actual time. And it confuses people, so I had to make sure that I use a timestamp, but even when I use a timestamp, sometimes people are like, is that, you know, my time or whatever? And you have to explain to them timestamps are local time, and it's always their time. I figured it was just easier to wait and then plan after the time shift. But then I forgot to do it yesterday, so that's why I did it today. Ugh. Vacation. I did play a little bit of Outer Wild. I keep going to say Outer Wilds. That's a different game. Outer Worlds 2. Um, after playing it last night, I may have sold some stuff, bought some stuff, and realized that you can make a lot of cash money if you're wearing the right clothing, and just, at least on story mode, just getting beaten like crazy. I'm wearing, there's the armor that you could purchase from the I've forgotten what it's called. The lady where she was obsessed with ships. Yeah, quartermaster of something. I I went and talked to her and bought the armor that she was selling. That gives you you get scrap and um black powder from taking damage. It's like a 5% chance from the start, and then the higher your, I think it's engineering skill, the higher that percentage is. But I realized that I have so much healing items on me, and being story mode, you don't really take much damage to begin with. I could just sit there and get beat on by like a friggin' Crabble or something, and just collect resources. I actually did that, and then I want to use the auto dock when I got particularly low on health. I may have a bit more cash now. So, didn't do anything story related though that I'm aware of. Was gonna go roaming around, then I decided maybe I won't. I do something that's story related and important, and no one's gonna understand what the hell's going on when I come back. Not that I'm entirely certain anyone's actually paying attention to the story when I play, or just having me on as background noise, which is fine. This whole room is going to be nothing but foam. It's not, because I'm going to run out of foam in a second and I have to wash it off, but... Da-de-da-de-da. There it goes. My brother used a power wash, well, a gurney on the our balcony to try and clean off. Well, we have a lot of dirt from the local construction work that's going on around here. Just gets thrown up onto our balcony. And then there's also some grease from the barbecue that my brother occasionally uses and then never bothers to clean afterwards. So he tried to clean it all with a quick little power washing. Problem is, got rid of the dirt, no problems. Did not in any way get rid of the grease, because he didn't have any soap dispenser on it. The one that he's got didn't come with it, you have to buy it extra. So it's still pretty filthy out there, but not as filthy as it was. What have I missed on the shiny toilet? Nothing. There we go. There's a bit of a something. Oh, is that the wall? Inner wall. Down, 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 down. Damn it. Hey, Hogman. Leave us to our own devices and we'll leave you alone. I'll be there when the last breath's taken away. Can you tell I like the song? And we both get carried away. Oh, come on. There you go. Nice and close spray, it's fine. How are you? Are you... No, you go back to work tomorrow. Right? Yeah. I was going to say how's work, but I don't think you're there yet. Entirely. I'll be there when the last breath's taken away. Can't clean the inside of the door, apparently. Tomorrow night, unfortunately, yeah. Stand up, dammit. You're my Janet. By the way, is that music loud right now? Would you call it loud? I'm curious because that's my boosted volume. Should be louder than normal, but not too loud. It's taken away. We both get turned away. Gonna point out that's nasty to have in a toilet. I've seen what they look like when they get moldy. I've had it in my house. I think technically it was mold, but I mean, I don't know for sure. It is possible that somebody just like ass blasted the entire inside. Essentially, the true definition of explosive diarrhea. But this thing having anything black in it is just nasty. As I've recently only... Oh, we're out of... As I've only recently gotten ours cleaned like a couple of months ago, and it was nasty. Took way too long to get cleaned too. Disappointed in the real estate, but not surprised. Which should be a telling thing, to be honest. Okay. Oh, well, that's on about. Why would I care about another toilet? I ain't cleaning this. That... Yeah, I didn't think the unit was clean yet. But underneath? It's underneath. How are you, Necro? Oh, everything's still good, by the way, for your Thursday. The time that I set before, except that it's the hour later. So that's... I want to say it was your 6 PM. I'd have to look it up again. Essentially, the day hasn't changed, I hope. I didn't send you a message because you already know about it, but... I sent messages to everyone else about playing the 3 games that day. Nice. I actually haven't had a decent chicken noodle soup in years now. You're 7 p.m. Okay, interesting. Um, Pretty sure I set it to 1. Cool. Did you happen to hear back from Brucey? Just so I can count numbers for whatever need be. Brown. Fair enough. That was one of the reasons I chose not to date a friend of mine once, was the fact that I knew our schedules just would never match up, because she had a tendency to be working night shift and I did day shift, and the amount of time it took to for us to actually see each other, we'd have to either completely change our usual sleep schedules, or we get to see each other. I think it was like 20 minutes a day. I'm just like, nah, it's a bit too much, I think. But it was wise anyway. I wouldn't have continued dating her anyway. Ultimately, we had a falling out. Can I actually close this door? No, I can't. Unless there's a button. That's a help button. There's normally a button to close the door. I don't know why it comes off all green and nasty looking. I probably don't want to question it. Close enough, good enough. Dun, dun, dun. Good to hear. Yeah. Shift work can make things very problematic, especially when said shift work times change, because you rarely get the chance, like the control over when you can work. If the company changes, your times can change. Assuming it's, something that has that many hours, bar work and other things. I don't need to tell you, obviously. No. I really don't like that the yellow hint thing. I wonder if I can turn that off. Doesn't look like there's an option. Maybe it's under gameplay. Nope. I was hoping you could just turn it off and not have to deal with it at all. Job complete. I didn't even touch the ladder. I wonder if I can... Yeah, I see it. I'll get right to the job completed situation. How you doing, buddy? Let me pick you up. Anything else up here? I don't actually know if you can do something with him. Maybe I can throw him in the trash. I need your head to stick to something so I can get you to sit upright. Not gonna work. Close enough. Yeah, as soon as it gets to the wall, it doesn't, it flicks out. Oop, there we go, got it. 200 followers. Oh, I was at 201 yesterday. Must have been a bot. But I'll take it. Yeah, I'm pushing to try and get 250. I don't really know why, I just want to get that number. Ah, it doesn't fit in anyway, that sucks. Yeah. Is there somewhere else I can climb up? Fair, it's fair. I think I actually originally put it at 250 for one of those key websites, but I really don't care about them anymore. I'm okay with emailer, and they all have a limitation based on concurrent viewership, which, as I've mentioned before, is a load of garbage when it comes to Twitch, unfortunately. Like even yesterday's stream, I was watching the entire time how many viewers Twitch was recording. It never went below 5 viewers, and I got an average viewership of like 3.8 or something, and I'm like, how? How? So I just don't care anymore. Hmm. Hmm. I would like to have much higher lurking numbers though, like Cletus or someone. Cletus had like more than 80 people in his chat yesterday, or in his stream yesterday, and maybe 3 people were talking most of the time. Like that's good. There's a lot of people just hanging around because they like Cletus. And I mean, just to be fair, anyone who doesn't follow Cletus Buford, you probably should. He's a very friendly dude. Great to watch, especially if you like to just lurk in channels. Yep, continue. Oh, I'd have to go back. Cool. And yeah, I'm happy to have as many lurkers in my chat as I can get. Because the more people watching, the more inspired I am to keep streaming, because it means that for some reason y'all want to watch me. Because I haven't got any other reason to really stream other than because you guys want to watch me. And that's more than enough reason. Straight to the next one. Start job. Yeah. I thought about doing that. I don't like calling my lurkers out. That's the only way that you can get them to show up as a counter, even if they don't do anything. I have to directly kind of say something for people to actively come and look at the tab or whatever. And it's kind of frustrating to do that because I feel like I'm disturbing people that just want to have me on in the background or whatever. I get why people do it though. It's definitely helpful to get the count up for smaller streamers. But I guess it's just if I really wanted to push to be a bigger streamer, I would care. But I don't really expect to ever do so. No, that's my thoughts on it anyway. I'm your number one fan. I thought you were a person. The whole time you've just been a fan? How many settings do you have? And will you work better than one I've got? Because the fan I've got isn't keeping me cool. It's quite possible. I mean, you did do all of my emotes. You were a fan of me before I was a streamer, which is surprising. For those wondering, I used to do, I guess you could call them streams on Discord, just streaming my stuff there. It's part of the reason I end up doing streaming on Twitch in the first place. Because Dog Mom and I can't remember who it was, but a few others would come in and watch me all the time. I'm like, I may as well just do it on Twitch. Hmm. Oh, I totally misread your other message. Ah, fair enough. Yeah. The funny thing is, and I'm not going to stay on this subject for too long, because I feel like it's kind of been done to death by a lot of people now. Even if you send messages in chat, sometimes you still won't get counted. And I know this because I've had it where I had 3 people talking in a chat, and it counted 1 person. And I've seen other people's channels that had something similar, where they had like 5 people talking and still only counted 1 person. Like, how is it physically not counting a chatter as a viewer? And I mean, it's just frustrating. And I can just wash this one off, but I want to use this one. So yeah, it's annoying because I know Twitch is just trying to make it so that their viewer count is more accurate and getting rid of people who are using viewbots and whatnot. But in the process, they're kind of screwing over smaller streamers because it's too heavy-handed. And that it sucks because nowadays, unless you're already, you know, if you're not double digits, you've practically got no chance because you'll never get more than like 2 or 3 concurrent viewers on your damn channel. And so it's kind of hard for anyone to ever see your channel. And if you are double digits, you might still get further, but I mean, I don't have enough metrics to know if that's because the person isn't a very good streamer or not. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to try to make it count. The annoying thing is, though, is you really shouldn't have to. Twitch is alienating their lurkers, which is like a large amount of the Twitch community. As I mentioned, Cletus had 80 plus viewers yesterday, and almost all of them were lurkers. Like, he wouldn't have had more than like 5 people talking in the time I was in there. Whatever. They're not exactly known for making good choices. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in debt. In debt, or are they just, I can't remember if they're in debt or like low on funds, running out of money. They weren't making a profit for a time there, I know that. And it also doesn't surprise me why so many people have now decided to go and stream on other services. Now that that's a thing you can do at the same time. It's like you may as well hedge your bets on that and just take as many possible options as you can and just hope for the best. I personally just can't be asked because it's a whole other ordeal the way I do my streaming to multi-stream. Not just to send it to another service. Like I could start streaming on YouTube like right now if I really wanted to. No, I can't. I'd have to make it so the music doesn't play through. But my chat system wouldn't work in the current one because I don't have my current bot doesn't handle multiple services. My new one does, but it's not actually set up for it yet. I'd have to enable that. Plus, I just can't be bothered because, you know, you have to have a whole of a stream and my computer already dies enough as is when I'm streaming just to Twitch. I'd consider it if I had a new computer, but that's a whiles away from me at the moment. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so unfair for the lurkers to make them have to do that. Mind you, I also don't really have any excuse, like anything to do for my streamers, my viewers to like chat in stream. I haven't got any like entertaining chat features or anything yet. So I also don't expect them to want to type much in chat. Except for the sound alerts. Sound alerts are still there. I do have to go look over those though. Like, I never did finish setting up all the channel point redemption ones I wanted to do. Kind of got distracted with the new bot, to be fair. To be fair. I will never say no to free food. I'll put that out there right now. If somebody wanted to take me out assassin style, all you'd have to do is just feed me some tasty food. Because I would not say no, I would totally just fall for it. Is that everything? Did I get everything? Why is it showing me the fire pit over... Oh no, it is part of this. Is it? No, it's showing me that over there, which is weird. Yeah. It'd be super easy to take me out. Exactly. Yeah, chicken. Speaking of, I really need to cut back on that chicken. Amongst other things. You'd think chicken's nice and healthy, the chicken and rice that I have. It would be if I also exercised and didn't go a little overboard with the portions. I have serious portion control, I tell you what. My problems with portion control... I mean, there are people with less financial problems than I have portion control problems. I don't even think about the fact that the amount of food I eat is incredibly excessive. I eat enough for like 4 regular people most of the time. I say that, but then I don't eat like 3 meals a day or anything, so I don't know if it really equals itself out or not. Maybe it does. If I could deal with portion control and was better at exercising, or just, you know, knew which exercises were better for helping me lose weight, specifically me, like, I obviously know which exercises are good for losing weight in general, but I've done those and they haven't always helped. Because, you know, every person is different. And if I could do that, though, I'd have no problems losing weight, I'm sure of it. I say as a person who's probably got a terrible metabolism nowadays. Even tried fixing that. I hear eating spicy foods is supposed to help kickstart the metabolism. I do that a lot now, and can't really say it's done much for my metabolism. Sadly. Luckily, the food is tasty, so I don't care. What am I missing here? What was that? Oh, it's the outer rim. I thought I went all the way around. I must have missed... There it is. I was going to say, I must have missed right underneath the wood. I used to have a treadmill, and it's not a running treadmill. My brother thinks that all treadmills you can run on. This was specifically for, like, walking or power walking, and generally for smaller people than me, but I didn't give a shit. And, like, it's fine for me as long as I'm not walking too fast. It was small, light, I could shove it in the corner somewhere, and I used to... This was a few years ago now. I used to have it just drop out, and then I would walk on it, because where I was living at the time, there wasn't really anywhere to walk that wasn't kind of dangerous, because there wasn't like walkways anywhere. But I could just drop that down after work, hop on it, and then I'd listen to an audio book or watch a TV show, because I could put it right in front of the TV. And just like, I could literally do that for 2-3 hours if I wanted. And I mean, 3 hours is a bit much, but I had no problems doing like an hour or two a day. It just wasn't enough to help me lose weight, even with my diet change. And then I moved to a place where I could actually go walking outside, and that was actually kind of cool because I liked being able to just go for... I pretty much went for a walk for about... more of a power walk for about 2 hours. And I would travel like 15 Ks-ish, 10 to 15 Ks in that time. So I wasn't going super fast. I don't know what that is in miles, sorry, I can't be bothered trying to convert it right now. It was really easy. I had no problems, didn't feel like I was exhausting myself for the rest of the day when I did that. And I changed my diet a little bit, but even that wasn't enough, annoyingly. I lost about 15, 18 kilos it was, and then I stopped losing weight, and I was like, oh, this is depressing. And I hadn't changed anything, and yet, you know, it was not just like slowed weight loss, it was stopped weight loss. So I didn't really know what to do, and then after that we moved and it was hard to exercise again. And I'm not going to talk about the exercise I haven't done in the last couple of years where I currently live. I really should. Yeah. And I can't really do small spread out meals because either, you know, I'm working full time, which I'm not at the moment, and there's not enough time to have small meals. Especially a lot of the jobs I'd have to move around a lot, so there wasn't time to just sit there and snack while working. Or now I'm not working, but I'm streaming a lot, and there's never a time to, like, I can't just stop and take a snack right now. I have a snack sitting next to me, and yet I can't have it because it's just gonna be way too noisy. Y'all wouldn't be able to hear anything but crinkling, and I ain't gonna do that to your poor ears. That's the thing, I was reducing calories. It wasn't doing anything except making me tired. Can I get inside and underneath? I think I can. Can I get underneath from this angle? Aha, gotcha. Alright, I think that's this campfire area done. I forgot which button it is. Q? It is. Alright, pretty sure I got it all. Snack redemption. No, I thought about that, but again, every time I think about buying snacks that I could have on stream, it's too much of a rush and an annoyance, and I'd rather just do it during a break, like that ding that just happened then. I don't think you guys can hear the ding, but I can. But then I just never remember to do it. Half the time I don't do my break, so I would not be snacking either, and then I'm hungry afterwards. But it's not a bad idea, it's just that I don't... You've actually got me thinking about it now. I'd really have to find a snack, though, that's not going to be too hard to, like, take too long to eat or make too much noise. Because even if it is a redemption, I still don't want to... I do know there are people out there that sleep with my stream on, and I wouldn't want to disturb them with crinkly sounds. As a person who has to deal with hyperacusis all the time, I'm not going to do that to other people that might have to deal with that pain. That irritation. Because it very much would be like ASMR at that point. It's great for people who like ASMR and not people like me that, you know, aggravates like crazy for some reason. Well, finding a protein bar that doesn't cost a frickin' $1 billion at this point is crazy too. I don't know at what point protein, like everything has protein in it now, which I find hilarious, and yet everything is now more expensive that has protein written on it. Especially the protein bars. I have, what is this? This has protein written on it too. I have a Carmen's protein dark chocolate and cranberry. It's a berry bar essentially, berry and nut bar. But they're way too expensive to buy. I only buy them when they're on special. I don't have a job, so losing weight is kind of hard when you're poor. They don't make it easy. I remember when I found it out, but it's like I realized some time ago, healthy, quote healthy foods, because I mean, depends on your opinion. Healthy foods aren't cheap. Foods that are generally considered bad for you, junk food and whatnot, is definitely cheap. It's crazy. That's gonna need some suds. Let's blast the crap out of this with some soap. Sandwich triangles. That. Yeah, I'm assuming when we say sandwich triangles, you're just talking about like sandwiches cut into triangles. There's not something actually called sandwich triangles, is there? Because I don't know of anything like that. But I could do sandwiches essentially. The problem is that I have to pre-do them before stream. Because I'm a bit of a bread snob, I can't do them like the day before. I need that fresh sandwiches. Yeah. So it's not a deal breaker, it just requires me to be able to do it before stream, and to be fair, I'm really lazy when it comes to before stream. I don't want this to sound like I'm making excuses, but I wake up often right before stream. Or if not, I wake up, have to do housework, and then I stream. My free time is usually after stream, because I can't sleep at night. So I really want to do it too, because I like it. I like some fresh sandwiches, but they're always too much hassle. Unless I make my 3 meat sandwiches, but they're not healthy for me. Yeah. Snacks are good because I only eat like once a day at the moment. I've never eaten breakfast. I'll just say that right now. I haven't eaten breakfast since I was a kid. I don't know why. It just doesn't. I can't. If I do, I feel sick. Breakfast for me happens at night. Not really breakfast. It's just breakfast cereal at night. And I rarely ever have lunch and dinner, just time-wise. I try to eat before stream, though, because I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but sometimes I can get kind of cranky. And that's usually because I haven't eaten anything, I've noticed. I tend to get low blood sugar, and I don't like being that kind of person. I'm pretty sure I've accidentally insulted friends before in ways that they've taken offense to because I was hangry, as it were. I always try to have food before stream. Snacks during stream, though, may actually fix that problem as well. Yeah, I say that I try to eat before stream, but then I also just said I pretty much usually get up and then straight away stream. So, as you can tell, I don't eat as much as I'd like to before stream. In fact, more than once I've been eating food during the 5-minute startup because I just didn't have enough time. It's also the reason I occasionally start late like I did today. I had lunch today, but it was late getting here and oh yeah, I had to wait. Breakfast makes you sick too, yeah. I've heard a lot of people can't eat breakfast. Either they don't feel like it, or if they try to eat it, they just feel sick like I do. Oh. Yeah, I've got a mini fridge as well. It's right behind me. Actually, whenever I get a drink, all I'm doing is turning around, reaching over. Well, usually I have to get out of the chair, but you know, lean out of the chair for a second to grab a drink. But snack foods are really freaking hard to find. I've put effort in before. I've really put effort into getting snacks for stream, specifically. And every time I think of something that might work, I get it, I give it a try, and I'm like, this doesn't work. Either it's too messy, and I'm kind of a neat freak about my computer. I can eat around my computer, but if I have to touch food with my hands, I can't touch the keyboard or the mouse until I go and wash my hands. So I can't really do that while streaming. Even if I can one-hand food, well, I have to still get up and wash my hands. And there was another thing, and I've forgotten what it was. Oh, and the noise issue, of course. Crinkly wrappers and the like. And I'm sure that there's probably like perfectly suited snacks out there for people who stream who don't want to deal with these problems. I just don't know what those snacks are. So if you have any suggestions for that, feel free to throw them out there. I mean, technically, Necker already has. Sandwiches is probably the closest I can have because in theory they're dry, so I'm not as worried about having to wash my hands straight away, and they don't make any sound. This bread. Like, what kind of crunchy stuff? Well, I guess I have had chip sandwiches before, and they're pretty noisy. I was going to say, what kind of crunchy stuff do you have on your bread? But it is possible. Why am I washing the log, by the way? Like, why is that a thing that I'm power washing a log? Look, there's a log that don't have to deal with. Plus, it's nature. It's supposed to be covered in crap. Yeah, well, it would be, to be quite honest, unlike most streamers, Evo, any of my redeems are suggestions. They're never, like, no one's paying me for this. I say, but then people are actually giving money for subs sometimes and such. But no one's paying me for the rewards or whatever, the channel point redeems. So for me, it's always it's always optional. But I get what you mean. Like, it'd be nice to have a snack redeem option, like people do with the water thing, the hydrate. I don't do a hydrate because, to be quite honest, I drink more often than anyone would ever use the hydrate redeem. I quite literally have a drink sitting next to me at all times, or behind me in the mini fridge, as I mentioned. So that's why I don't have a hydrate redeem, but a snack one probably wouldn't be too bad, because I never remember to eat. I need the habit, and I also need the options. I really wish I wasn't such a bread snob. I would make sandwiches and then leave them in my fridge. But I can't do that because they start going stale very quickly. And like I said, bread snob. I wouldn't want to eat them pretty quickly if that were the case. No, that's fair. Like, that's actually why they have the hydrate redeem at all. It's because people would always forget to drink while streaming. Because I just never have. My issue is the eating, which you'd think would be helpful for losing weight, but it really isn't. Because if you don't eat regularly, you don't really correctly metabolize the food. And I don't want my body to go into starvation mode. The bars, yeah. If I can, whenever the bars are on half price special, and I have the money, I always try to buy as many as I can. Which is why I only have one at the moment. Because they are probably the best option, even though they still make noise with the wrapper. There's something I can open up during a break and then eat. It's not the end of the world. I mean, technically, if I really wanted to, I could also just unwrap them all and then put them in a plastic container. I don't think then... I think that's not going to cause any issues. It's not like they go bad or anything. Actually, not a bad idea. I should do that. Dump them all into a plastic container and have that sitting somewhere in my room. Dun, dun. The terrible weight loss journey of Deimos, where I don't actually end up losing weight, because I have other issues at the moment I'm dealing with as well that are preventing me from losing weight or even exercising to lose weight. But I won't get into those because, you know, it's just not a subject I want to talk about. At least not at the moment. Maybe once I actually correct it, it will be fine. Yeah, Tupperware. I've got lots of I don't remember what they're called. Systema, I think, over here. There's a brand called Systema that are essentially Tupperware. They're plastic sealable containers. We have a lot of them because they're fairly cheap, and my brother and I just bought a bunch because we used to have a lot of leftovers. So I fill those up with things all the time. Like at the moment we use this. We get really small ones that are like the size of your fist. We've got containers that big, and then I cut up things like capsicum, bell peppers for my American friends, into small enough slices. I like slices. Stuff them into that container as much as I can. Close it and stuff it in the freezer, because they last for months in the freezer. They don't last very long out of the freezer. I tend to have to replace them if they're there for more than like a week. But in the freezer, they last for months, and as long as they're not like too watery when you put them in there, and it hasn't been like 3 months since you last pulled them out, you can just grab the container out when you need capsicum for something, pop the lid off. Well, actually, I usually squeeze it a little so that like they all loosen up a bit. Pop the lid off and throw that into some food, or in my case, also into some sandwiches, because I like it. I like eating raw capsicum on sandwiches. I got to do more things like that too. Oh, I've got to make some. Um, I used to be lettuce. Now I use baby spinach, capsicum, and maybe cheese sandwiches. Cut those into some triangles. Mm. Ah, I used to work with someone, Necro, and an Asian dude, who the doctor was telling him he had to lose weight. The guy had no body fat. I'm like, the doctor you went to see is crazy. But I understand, like, he was trying to figure out how to stop losing weight as well after he went and saw a different doctor, because that doctor was like, yeah, you're probably a little underweight. You might want to increase the weight. And he didn't know how to. Mm. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to lose 13.6 kilos. If you need that, I'm happy to donate mine to you. We'll share these. I might need to share these out with a few other people because I'm currently a little excess on the size. But I have no problems with like sharing and I really wish that was a thing where you could just share your weight. Like I could donate my fat as a transplant or something. That'd be hilarious. Of course, it's like getting liposuction. It's not good for you. Not beyond like 10% of your body fat or something like that. Yeah, it's really smart, Evo. I suggest you give it a shot. Especially if you tend to use the same kind of veggies a lot. You can buy them in larger quantities and store them ready to just throw into a meal. So my brother throws them into stir fries. We had other things too. It started because I think it was Coles around here. They started doing the frozen veg and stuff, whereas like you get frozen avocado and frozen fruits like frozen mango and that. And I thought about it and I'm like, why the hell am I paying extra for their smaller frozen containers when I can just buy larger stuff, cut it up and store it myself? So now I do that. The only problem I have is the amount of containers I can fit into a freezer at one time. I need a better storage container for some of them than using Tupperware containers, essentially. My chicken and rice mix, well, it's just the chicken when I put it in the freezer, is in Ziploc bags, and that works pretty well. And they're ready to go. Throw into the slow cooker. Silicon freezer squares. I think I know what you're talking about. I want those as well, but there's no good place to buy them around here. The silicon stuff's like getting something made of silicon is way better because in many cases it'll stack better in the freezer as well. Plus, it doesn't stick to the sides. I have that problem with the plastic ones at the moment, especially with things like capsicum that have water in, a lot of moisture in them. Often you'll get the veggie stuck to the side, which is annoying. You can't afford to buy new. Especially with you going into winter. I would happily donate my winter weights to you. I call it winter weight, but I keep it in summer too. Just I have problems throwing it away. That's the excuse I'm going with. Buy them on sale, freeze them into blocks, set them for months. Yep. I try not to set it for too many months though, because I do find that some things you buy. If I buy like I bought way too much chicken breast at one point, stored it, and it started to get frostbite after, like by the time I actually got to it, because I just didn't have it. I try not to have it every single night. So it had been like a month and a half or 2 months by the time I got to it, and it was starting to get the freezer burn on it. Deep freezers are very useful for it. I have a chest freezer type thing. It's like a freezer with drawers that come out. You'd think that would be really helpful because the deep freezers are a pain in the ass to get down into sometimes, especially if you're short. Yeah, I'd rather a deep freezer than this one because the drawers themselves take up too much space. And at the moment, the damn thing is frosting over, which means that if I have the drawers overly filled, the drawer won't come out because it'll get stuck on the frost underneath a drawer, like the drawer above it. From Amazon. If you have a link, could you send me the link so I could take a look? I have a feeling it's the same one I was looking for, but I even on Amazon I couldn't find a one that was sending it to Australia. Mind you, I don't know if I looked that hard. Do 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 do. That'd be right, yeah. Yeah, I would like other reason I'd like a chest freezer, like a deep freezer, is my brother has a tendency to buy a lot of vegetables, which is cool and all, but then he doesn't fucking use them. And they're vegetables I don't use. Like, I don't really eat stir fries, for instance. And I'm not a big fan of broccoli, and because of his dietary requirements at this point, he eats a lot of broccoli. Broccoli, if you want to call it that, but whatever. I know someone's going to mention that. It ends up having the veg sitting there until it gets freezer burn and I have to throw it out because he's never going to use it. He also travels a lot, so even if he is home, you know, he's got to want that particular vegetable, and then he'll go away for 2 weeks or whatever, and it'll just be sitting in the freezer. But he buys way too much of that just so he has it if he needs it, and I have no space for my stuff. And it is the downside to living with someone else, especially my brother, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to tell your brother to stop being a dick. Stop overspending because he thinks he's going to want it and he's going to be annoyed if he doesn't have it. He probably will be annoyed if he doesn't have it. He's still not going to have it because it's going to go bad by the time he wants it. I'll have to throw it out and he won't have it. But my brother's also stubborn, so yeah. Yeah. Took me a while just to convince him that we should eat separate foods anyway, because one, his diet is very different to my diet now, because he's with his diabetic dietary requirements. There's a lot of things he's not allowed to eat anymore, and well, I like it. I want to eat it. But we used to eat dinners and stuff all the time, but that was a pain in the ass in itself, because again, he wasn't always going to be home for dinner. So I didn't know what I was cooking. You would think so, but my brother would probably just be like, eh. He's not fazed by a lot. So, and he also knows that I have a rather interesting collection of different types of friends. So, I mean, this is a long time ago now, but one of my friends for quite a while there, before she transitioned, before it was even a thing, that she was even like, I don't know if she had plans to or not, but she'd never mentioned it to anyone. Definitely not while her parents were still alive. But she would wear, this was back when she was still a he, would wear knee-high boots all the time, everywhere. And my brother started calling her Boots, just because that was the one thing that stuck out in his mind. And it didn't really faze him for long when he first saw it. It was very unusual too. I'm just going to point it out. The particular person that were wearing these lace-up knee-high boots And that's it. Like, there was no other, like, unusual clothing for this particular, at the time, guy. He was just a your normal person. I think he might have had long hair for a little while there, but I don't remember. But it was very out of place for this particular kind of person. And my brother, to this day, still considers Davina as Boots, because that's just the easiest way you can remember Davina's name. Actually, I don't even know if he's ever used Davina's new name. Yeah. Not a lot phases him, but then he grew up in the same era as me, and we had the internet and far worse things out there than anything that could be named nowadays. So normal things like twinks and such, he'd just be like, oh yeah, just one of my weird friends again. To be clear, I don't think any of my friends are weird, but then weird is way more fun, so you definitely should be. Exactly, you get it. Mind you, I'm actually surprised how little my brother learnt from the internet compared to what I did. The amount of stuff that I see from him now, he's like, oh, you seen this? I'm like, yeah, like a decade ago. I'm surprised he's never heard of it. Probably. I mean, at some point he became an old man with very little knowledge of well, I mean, he always had very little knowledge of computers, but don't tell him that because he doesn't believe it. I've always called him a computer enthusiast. And I can say all this right now because he's not home. He'd have a whinge if I said it, though, while he was here. The amount of things that he learnt while we were younger on the internet compared to how many things I learnt. I mean, I'm amazed I'm as normal as I am, to be honest. I've seen some weird shit. That's all I have to say about that. And this was pre-AI and stuff too, so like, it had to be real because it wasn't deep fakes and stuff. You couldn't just make stuff up with a bit of fancy editing. I mean, you could for some things, but not the stuff that I saw. Jesus. Yeah, my brother is definitely one of those people. He's also a hoarder, so it's not really a surprise that he holds on to his way of life from back then. Alright, I gotta get that side as well. I'm gonna need my ladder. Come here, you. Actually, I might do these. Nah, screw it. I'll finish the building. The jar. You're gonna have to be more specific. I'm assuming you're talking about the most common one. But there is a lot of that out there. Yeah. I was gonna say that's the same with the cups and the jar, and there's also well, they're not called anymore, they're little people and a bucket. And just not going into that one. Yeah, there was a oh yeah, there was a lot of stuff. There's some weird people in the world is all I have to say. Just gonna put that out there. And nowadays I'm like annoyed that Blurps has sound effects that are straight up direct from a porno. I'm like, why the hell is this on Blurps? And yet I know for a fact that there's way worse things out there. Yeah, I found that while I was looking up one of the blurps. It's not from his. I'm going to be very clear about this. This is not on Cletus's blurps at all. I clicked on with the channel point redemptions for blurps. It actually gives you a URL to go to pre-listen to it, like to get a preview of the sound alert before you play it, which is a good feature to have. I did that to figure out which sound alert was on one of the ones that Cletus has. Cletus, for some reason, has a lot of sound alerts of him talking about large things or holes, and yeah, I mean, it's funny as hell, but he's got a lot of them. And for some reason, one of them came up with recommendations when I clicked on it, like other recommendations, and that was how the second one, the picture itself, I'm pretty sure was like from the porno, and the sound alert was definitely clipped directly from it. Because I'm like, what the hell is that? Clicked on it, and then I regretted it, because here's the really annoying thing. When I play it in the preview, I'm playing it from the browser. The browser doesn't have a volume control. It plays it at the browser's default volume, which for me is max volume. And this was at 1 in the morning last night. And I'm like, I really wish I hadn't played that. My neighbors probably heard that. They're like, awesome. There. It's terrible that that's allowed on blurps. But it doesn't surprise me that it's on there. And there's probably far worse things on there if I looked. But that's half the reason why I have to have the restrictions on there. Because some of those sound alerts would make it so that you have to have the 18 plus restriction on there, which I don't use. And I don't want to have to use it. I don't know if I'd call that healthy. Not the particular one that was playing. Because it was not labeled the same as what it was either. I keep wanting to add new blurps too, and I keep forgetting to. I mean, I don't have to, because anyone can search for almost anything except for what's restricted, which, to be honest, anything that's restricted I wouldn't want played anyway. That's the whole point of it. But I keep forgetting to add things. Like, I want to add a bunch of what we do in the shadows. Clips from that TV show. Yeah, I'm a big fan of pretty much all the characters on that show, though I haven't finished watching it yet, even though it's over. Just because there's so many funny phrases, especially Matt Berry's lines, who's one of the vampires in the show. I forgot which name it is. I'm terrible with names. I'm amazed I remembered Matt Berry's name. But yeah, it's some funny lines he's got. I'm pretty sure sometimes they just let him just say whatever the fuck he wants. You don't need to, Necro. I can tell you that right now. The reason I know this is the restriction is kind of unnecessary for most people. I know you have it, and that's fine, especially for if you happen to have anything that you're worried might get you flagged. But I know for a fact that practically nothing I say or anyone says on my channel is going to be an issue for me. And in fact, I've even found out recently, if someone else says something on my channel, it doesn't necessarily mean I'll get banned for it. As long as I'm not condoning it. I have to pretty much just, if they say something like really offensive or whatever, as long as I just say, dude, you can't say that, sorry, you gotta go, I'm fine, apparently. Which is good, because I used to think that if someone else could easily get me banned. It's not that easy. And I think they've changed this. They actually changed those rules with the stream together stuff, because obviously it's harder to control what other people say on a stream, and they want you to collaborate. So naturally, they're going to do what they can to allow you to not get into trouble if someone's a dick on your stream, on your what do they call it? Stream together collaboration. Speaking of, I have to talk to like Kenjin and you when you're streaming, and pretty much anyone that happens to be streaming with me at the same time. I don't know if there's any reason to not just have stream together enabled and then not use any of its features. There's no rule that says you can't do that, and it would list you as streaming with those people, so people know who you're streaming with. And it puts together the community counter so people can see who's checking everyone out. I've been thinking about wanting to convince people to turn that on just to save me some hassle of having to put people's names in the title. Because if I do that, it puts the title too long for things like YouTube and stuff. Which is why I haven't done it in a while. Yeah, dude, I'm not worried about that. Honestly, it the amount of things they let people get away with on Twitch at times, I'm not worried. Not worried in the slightest. People would have to be watching me and intentionally want to get me banned. And if they're going to do that, they don't even need to care what people say in a channel. They can just find the smallest excuse and get enough people to report it, and that'll count. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I feel like, yeah, you should have to have some form of collaboration for it to count. We're always using Discord anyway. As long as you're not just streaming separately and then you have the stream together stuff on, I see no reason not to turn it on. If you're actually gaming with someone, you should add them. Honestly. In my opinion, that is. I don't know if everyone feels the same way I do. But I thought about it the other day and I was like, yeah, you don't have to have any of the features on, so why not? My biggest problem with not using it originally was the shared chat. Because if I use shared chat, I'd have to moderate my own bot more, which is a pain in the ass, so that it doesn't respond to other people's comments in other chats. Because yeah, my current bot doesn't know that someone is in another stream, in another person's chat. The system for a bot to know what stream a chat's coming from requires the bot to be a specific type of authentication. It can't be a user authentication, it has to be an app authentication. The difference for that primarily just means users, like any of us, you just have to click on it once, click an accept button, and you're done, because it pops up on your browser. An app has to go back to a URL, has to go back to a web page. So, which technically I have, but yeah, for you to log in as an app, you have to be sent somewhere and then redirected back somewhere else. And then once that's logged in, how it works is the app authenticates with Twitch, and then the app asks you to authenticate you. Even though I'm authenticating myself as a bot anyway, it's still not me, it's a different user. It's just particularly annoying. But you have to have that type of authentication for the bot to be able to know where the chat message came from. Because for whatever reason, the developers decided to make it that way. I have no idea why. There's logically no reason for that. A user should be able to have the same features as a bot, to be honest. They just wanted to make it complicated. Yeah, all it means pretty much is that some bots like the ones I have, which is on my computer, generally can only be done as a user because there's no website for them to go back to. Other bots like Nightbot or Stream Elements or anything like that, they all have a website where it can authenticate against. And then you have that person's, it's not your bot, it's that person's bot come into your channel. Even if it's got a different name, it's still going through a third-party system. Mine's only locally on my machine. It doesn't go out into the internet until it needs to connect directly to Twitch. But that means it can't check on shared chat messages, which is kind of annoying. I do like that moves when you spray it. And it also means that, you know, if certain bots can't, like, will interact with other people's viewers. And I have some bad bot protection. Those who wonder, it's like the best viewers and whatnot. Please don't type that word in my chat. Best viewers and another one that they come up with a lot will get you instantly banned on my channel. And that's because the bot will ban you, not me. And that's because the only time anyone ever says those words is if it's an automatic bot trying to scam people. And a lot of bots will delete the message, but that's it. They won't ban the bot or anything. Mine bans the bot straight outright. I wish I could also report them, but I can't. There's no Twitch integration for reporting a bot through the API, only through their web page, their web browser. So if I had that running on, say, your chat, and someone comes in and goes, oh, you know, I saw someone's channel and they had this bot come in saying this, that person technically would get banned. Though in the shared chat, if they're in your channel, they get timed out or temporarily banned, I guess, for that stream. So they won't be able to talk for the entire stream. They don't get banned like they do in mine. But it's still a massive hassle, because then I feel responsible for one of your viewers getting essentially stream timed out for that stream, like stream banned. They have to wait until the next one, or someone has to go in and unban them for that day. My new bot has the ability to detect if the message came from my stream or not. Somehow, I'm not entirely sure how it does, but apparently it can tell which broadcaster the message came from. And if I set that up to ignore any messages that aren't from my chat, then it won't be an issue. But I haven't got that set up yet. Yeah. And to be honest, I see that happening for mine as well at some point. I'm glad that Dog Mum said I'm your #1 fan earlier and not something along those other lines. Because, yeah, it would get them banned and I have to go and unban them. But it happens so rarely. I'm okay with having to unban people from my stream. I'll be like, I wish you hadn't done that, but I can see the message. You'll be fine. I'll just unban you real quick. I feel bad if I do that on someone else's viewers, essentially, because I don't know anything about their viewers or how they're going, what kind of reaction they would have to getting a timeout, essentially, from what they think is their preferred streamer, but it's coming from me. Because the way that Twitch handles moderation in shared chat is every mod in the channel is technically a moderator, but they have lower permissions on other streamers' viewers. They can still do things like time them out, delete their messages and all that, but it's just slightly different. And I feel bad about messing with someone else's viewers. Yeah, she definitely could have. And I would have laughed my ass off and said, all right, I guess she's in timeout for the day. She would have gotten shitty at me and then yelled at me in Discord. She knows that I'm banner, so it's fine. What are we missing here? It is the roof, right? Did I not get... I did not wash the roof. I thought I'd sprayed up here, but then not cleaned it. Yeah, I didn't realize it, but I was in someone else's stream, just chatting in someone else's stream, and I said something to one of their regular viewers who took offense to what I said, and I'm like, it was clearly, whatever I said was clearly a joke. I don't remember what it was now. But they because they didn't know me and I'm just so used to making those kinds of jokes, I didn't think it was an issue until they mentioned it. I'm like, oh, that actually is a problem. I would have upset someone I don't even know on a person's stream that I actually like the streamer, so it mattered. Is there anything... Can't go out over here, can I? No. Can't go inside, right? So... I'm just looking to see if there was anything lying around. I think... Wrong button. I think this actually has... some hidden achievements. Do. Scroll all the way down. And maybe there isn't. There's just certain things you got to do, which I would never do without knowing the achievement. Like, on one of the missions, you have to clean the mouse last, whatever the hell that is. I just clean whatever I come across. Ah. I apparently got a bonus for something. I'm going to start this house, but I probably won't finish it right now. Because after my next ad break ding pops up, I'm going to take a break and then I might swap games. I'd also hide the music tracker. I forgot it was even up. This is mostly just to start the stream off in a relaxed way. The solid shrubbery right there. Very strong shrubbery. I can just stand on it. Maybe one day I'll do shared chat, but for now, I'm thinking the idea of using the stream together feature just to list everyone's names that are hanging out, because you can join and leave as much as you want as well. Like, there's no requirement for people to like stay in a chat in a shared a stream together or anything like that. I wonder if I actually need to use these equipment, or I could just get away with not doing it. Yeah, that's the main reason I want it, because, as I said, I used to put the names in the title. If you put @ and then the person's name, for those who don't know, it will show up their name in their color, whatever Twitch color they use. And I think you can also click on the name and it'll go straight to their channel. Like, it'll open up another tab to their channel. But you have to add it to the title, and whilst Twitch has a fairly large title limit, when I do clips and stuff, I'll often export those, and I think actually... Oh no, I don't do it through that anymore. I export the clips anyway, and if it has a long name like that, it can get cut off when it goes into YouTube or TikTok, and it looks funny, and I can't be bothered dealing with that. So I just stopped putting the names in there. Because I don't need the names there anyway for the clips. No one knows who those people are most of the time. So having it in the stream together feature would be really handy. Plus, as I said, from what I understand, the shared viewer list is like a compilation of like all viewers. So it doesn't affect my concurrent viewership or anything like that. But when people look at it, if you're in 2 streams, you'll only show up once in that list as far as I understand. So it compiles everyone and gives you an overall total of people who are in there, which is handy. If you're looking at the users list, I think you can see it. Maybe not. That'd have to be in the shared chat feature, which I wouldn't use yet. But yeah, and of course, I actually don't know. I don't think... I'm not sure if that compiled total affects how you show up in the list or not. I'd have to have a look at that. That was one thing I was always worried about when they started implementing that shared stream together feature, was that it would make people who don't use that feature become non-existent as smaller streamers, because their small numbers would get eaten up by even someone who's only got like single-digit viewers. If they're streaming with other single-digit viewers, enough of them, they could become double-digit viewers, and with that would... I thought that would block out the those who aren't using the feature, but I have a feeling that's not how it works. I'd have to look it up. I just like the idea of having the user list there, that people know. I also don't feel so bad because I used to put Kenshin's name in most of the streams whenever I was streaming with him. And I haven't done that for a while, and I kind of feel bad. It's like I'm just ignoring that I'm playing with other streamers. Because honestly, whilst it's useful to know straight away without having to ask, not many people really ask in my stream who I'm playing with. They either already know because I use Discord and their name is up in the top corner, or they already know because they already watched that person as well. Or they just don't care who I'm streaming with, which is also fair. I find really interesting is I was playing Necess with Kenshin and you and other people, Necro. I looked at the viewer list then, and it was really, really low. I'm like, I guess no one really likes watching that game. Then I remembered that when I was in there, I had a whole bunch. So again, Twitch being Twitch and not counting everyone. And I was like, I guess maybe they do like it. And I'm like, I don't think it matters what people like or what they don't like. It's just going to show random numbers. Like, I don't know if there's actually 7 people watching me rant on about nonsense whilst they spray a wall. Now, it's possible, but it just sounds so weird to me. And that's not saying that any of you are weird, believe me. If you are actually out there, 7 people watching me right now, or more, if Twitch isn't counting them properly, and you find this exciting, awesome. Glad I am entertaining you. But it just seems so strange. I I have the rule of if I'm playing with someone and they drop out, I don't edit the title unless we change games. And the reasoning for that is one, they might come back, especially Julia, who doesn't actually ever go to sleep when she says, oh, I'm going to bed now. And then, you know, for the next 3 hours, she talks about going to bed. And two, it's more of a I was playing with them, so it's fine to keep them in the list type thing. When people go, oh, where's this person? You go, oh, they went to bed. So I feel like it's less effort to just leave them in the title at that point. But I feel you there, because I before I decided that, I had the same thoughts of like I should change the title, but then after you have 3 people leave middle of a particular game you're playing, you're just like, I can't be bothered. It's also why when I used to watch people like Chilled Chaos, they just had a list, like a command that would list everyone they're currently playing with. That could be updated at any time. And I thought of having that too, but then I'd have to change the list because I don't actually have any mods. My only mod is a bot that does all the work for me because I've mostly programmed him correctly. That's the reason I haven't used my new bot. He's not programmed correctly yet. And not that I have anything against having mods, by the way. I just have never felt the need, and this is not putting shade on anyone else, but I feel like I would be putting responsibility on someone to have to be a mod for me. And I don't want to do that. Like, I see people like Paul who have mods that, honestly, 90% of his mods don't go into his channel when he streams anymore. They're just not around. Which is fair, they don't have to be, but they shouldn't be mods either. Engine's pretty much the only one that's always there, and has been pretty much from the start as far as I understand. And he's got like, I want to say he's got like 7 or 8 mods. At least he did, I don't know if he still does. And yeah, they come in less often than like people like Obi. And for those who don't know, Obi works a lot. He lives in Japan, so his time frame's not great, and he has a kid that he's quite often having to take care of, and yet he gets into Paul's channel more often than some of Paul's mods. So I don't want mods like that, but I don't want to make people feel like they have to do it like it's a job, even though they're not getting paid for it. And I want to give them the responsibility and then make them feel bad the fact that I have to take it away because they haven't been in my chat for a month or whatever. Because I'd have to take it away. It feels weird to have a mod that's not around. That's the only reason I haven't got mods, by the way. I've considered asking people before, but it's just like, I don't need one. My bot does the job, and the occasional time the bot fails, I can fill it up. So it's not a big, not a big deal. Yeah. And another problem people have is they get anxiety over the fact of, as a mod, technically you have to kind of make decisions that you hope are what the viewer wants, at least the first time. Like, someone comes in and they say something that's kind of pushing the rules. What do? Do you warn them? Do you ban them outright if you think they've broken the rules? It becomes a problem, and I don't want to stress people out. I've had that where, what was it? I think I was in someone's stream. I don't remember who it was. And one of their mods had, I think they timed out someone. They didn't ban them, they just timed them out. Because it appeared they were breaking a rule. And then the streamer was like, oh no, he was just joking. He wasn't really, it's fine. And he made the mod feel bad about it because he had to say, oh no, it's okay, when the mod was just doing his job. Like, I couldn't, that's also a reason why when Paul asked me to be a mod, I'm like, I don't want to be one of those people like his other mods that just never turned up. and I wouldn't feel comfortable doing any real work because he didn't want me to actually do any work. He was happy with me just having, like on Kenshin's channel, just having the mod symbol next to my name and then never really doing anything. But I didn't feel comfortable with it. So same with his Discord, I believe, but again, I don't need any more powers in his Discord. I can already jump into his voice channel whenever I feel like it. I'm pretty sure I practically have mod powers in his Discord, actually. I just never do anything in there because I don't care to. And the only reason, by the way, the only reason I'm a mod in Kenshin's channel is quite literally because, for those who, you might have been around for this actually, for those who weren't around, Kenshin has, well, I don't know if he still does. He has a mod command. Well, he has a command that he can use to skip a song. That's right. He's just got a command that allows certain people to skip a song. And I wanted to be lazy. I could use the command, type it in manually, but I wanted to be lazy and I wanted to hit a button that I had on my touch portal at the time. The problem is touch portal doesn't let you send commands to someone else's chat. That's not mine. Unless you're a mod in that channel. So he made me a mod in the channel just so I could push a button and be really lazy that would skip a song when he's like, can someone skip this song? Because he doesn't want to stop to skip it himself, which is fair enough. So he made me a mod just for that. And then I don't even have that button anymore because he doesn't really do it much anymore. And I'm still a mod in his channel. No real powers though. It's a foam sword. Oh, if I could, I would run my entire life off of buttons. Tell you what, I hate having to do too much effort in any sense, which is why even though Touch Portal has more than a few problems, because I feel like the devs have just half-assed given up on it, and making plugins for it is kind of becoming a pain in the ass. I still use it just because I can push buttons for so many commands I don't have to deal with. And I'm too cheap to get a Stream Deck, which would probably be the equivalent. My new bot might allow me to skip some buttons though. Apparently it's even got the ability to use voice commands. But I don't want it to be like Alexa or Googs. And yes, I say Googs because we do actually have those devices in the house, and I don't want them to pick my voice up and start doing shit because it's really stupid friggin' commands that don't work properly. And there's no way to change the command that I'm aware of. But apparently I can set that on my new bot to just save certain things and it'll trigger certain commands. I'm thinking about implementing that so that I can actually run commands without even taking my hands off the mouse and keyboard. I don't know how well it works though, is the problem. And I just need to figure out if I can like press say a button on my mouse to activate the voice command. Because as much as I don't want any buttons, I don't want it to just pick up random words as things and start like messing with my stream. Oh, for an artificial intelligence system that actually can detect voices and know what people are saying clearly. None of them are what I would say flawless at this point, or even close to. They're all kind of stupid, to be honest. My brother's kind of obsessed with the idea of having a fully automated house, but he doesn't really understand that it's not a matter of the brand of product he keeps getting that's causing all his frustrations. It's the lack of technology still. You have to put a lot of work into some form of artificial intelligence for it to actually function the way you want it to. So, for it to understand his voice correctly and know what he's saying correctly and not just be guessing and trying to hope for the best. I mean, they still do anyway. You really need to have a lot of preparation put in. Like, you need to train and I guess they're called assistants, aren't they? Train the assistant to understand your voice correctly. Did I clean that? I did clean that off. Looked the same color for a second there, and I'm like, I thought I just cleaned that. Short of having, like, paying a lot of money to have access to one of the AI servers that cost a hell of a lot of money. They don't do a lot of active processing on your local machine or anything. It's all done server-based nowadays. That's super expensive and still isn't, from my understanding, all that perfect. But then I don't own, like, a company that could probably run their own server. I do mess around with AI stuff a lot, though, so at least the free forms of stuff, like ChatGPT, for instance, I know that then it is far from being perfect. I would love to use ChatGPT or similar in video games to respond to certain, like, to kind of give more creative freedom to the player. But the responses can come out really terrible, and you're asking for all sorts of trouble if you do that. There's been out for a few years now. There's a piece of software that's designed specifically to be like an NPC character, like an NPC AI, essentially. You can give it a bunch of information, like as a background for the character, and what the character should and shouldn't know, and then people can talk to it directly in games. I think it's actually, there's a mod for it that's implemented into friggin' Skyrim. It's designed so that you can try to have realistic-esque conversations with NPCs in games. And the concept sounds friggin' awesome. And I just realized I am, like, on a super tangent here, aren't I? I was talking about something completely different, and I don't know how I got onto this subject. But it is really cool premise, and I can't wait until they find a way to make that viable to just have in deployable software. You know, like, come to the point where you'll be able to install a game like Skyrim and it has that kind of AI built in. Doesn't need to talk to a server or anything. Because yeah, at the moment, that model, the entire system has to run on a third-party server because of the amount of processing required. Your PC would not be able to do it at all. Probably. I actually don't know if they've made it a light form of it yet. Oh, I see how it is. Just, yeah, keep talking, because I'm leaving. Haha, sucker. I'll talk to you later, Necro. Thanks for stopping, boy. Ah, well, that's more than enough excuses. Fuck me. Go say hi to Bruce. Also, say hi to Bruce for me too. Don't. I was gonna say give him kisses, but no, that's just for you. You go give him kisses, all for you. All right, I'll see you later, Necro. Ah. I've known a number of people who have had relationships that were difficult to time because of their jobs. I absolutely understand the situation Necro is in. I've never had that situation because the only time I had the option, I said no. Probably because I'd seen it so many times. Right. It is very impressive, I will say. People can do that because I'd say I'm kind of a, what's the correct term? Not clingy. I'm definitely not a clingy kind of person. I appreciate intimacy with whoever I'm dating. And if I don't really ever get to see the person I'm dating in person and, be able to give them a hug or whatever, it would definitely be a dampener on the entire relationship. Not their fault, but I mean, some things are just unavoidable in that case. Yeah. So I would find it incredibly difficult. Ah, thanks, Brucey. You have a good time with Necro. Brink. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Actually, no, that doesn't really say much. And also, have him back by midnight. I'm not going to be here at midnight, so I don't really care what you do. Did I? No, I did. It's just the wall is very close to the spray color when it dries anyway. Dun, dun. This side of the wall, I'm like, how did I miss so much of the wall? That and that was the same part. That's fair. See you later, Necro. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. When I first heard about that AI service, that NPC model system, I was like, sounds amazing. I have a billion ideas. And then I looked into, like, they have like a demo for it. And I checked out the demo. And you were so limited that it was just like, I couldn't do what I wanted to do with it yet. Even though it was very impressive, I need more. But yeah, that's just because I really want to have fancy things. Like, as it is, there's a game that I kind of just sort of came together by accident while talking with Dogmum. And it's the game commonly known to some of you, especially Dogmum, as the Snow Globe game. It doesn't actually, well, it does have a name now, but I'm not saying what the name is. Because it started out as a joke saying I'd love to make a game where the entire game happens inside of a snow globe, and it's like a community or a colony builder, but the level itself for the colony, like with any of the any colony builder or any kind of buildy type game like that, you generally get a random spawn map, right? Like RimWorld or whatever, they have maps that are just randomly generated. And I thought it'd be hilarious if the random generation happened, but the animation you see is the snow globe getting shaken. So when you're picking a map, you're looking at the snow globe and it's being shook up, and then a new landmass is being created inside of it, which I thought was a funny and hilarious, like, kind of setup for a game that I had no other details for the game at the time. And then it slowly became a concept I had of a storytelling colony game, like sort of like RimWorld-esque, but on a larger scale with less control over the individual colonists. So there are colony builders where you don't control the colonists at all. You direct them by say you can build a building and they'll go and build the building. You don't affect the colonists directly themselves. A la RimWorld or Black and White or anything like that, where you directly are affecting characters. There are indirect ways for what I have in like intended, but not direct ways. And the main reason that it's become so complicated, though, and sort of outside the scope of what I can do in the same vein as like the NPC AI stuff, is that I really want to have the city or town or whatever it is that you start out with, because it'll grow organically over time anyway. I really want to have it be automatic, and everyone is just kind of living a life in kind of like a simulated life game, where, say for instance, you have a town and you have 15 people in that town. All 15 people have their own lives. They do their own things. They interact with each other. But it ultimately affects them in some way that they will remember in most cases. So like if someone, for instance, someone had a job where they were a farmer and they injure themselves on the job, then for the next however many days, they'll be injured and it'll make their job harder. So it'll affect their job. It might affect the people they hang out with or whatever. Well, they may not be able to work at all and they'll start running out of money or something like that. That's just one example. I would like that for like any kind of job I can come up with and have them all simulated all at once. Sort of. They're not really all at once. It's all in the background. And anytime they interact with each other, they'd also have to use the correct responses and such like that towards each other. All of that processing would be very heavy on most computers. Even if I tried to keep it simple, as much as I'd love to have that as a game, it would be a cool concept, but I think we lack the technology at the moment. My ultimate plan was to have it so that you could also add things constantly. So like I could add new DLC packs essentially, well not really. I don't like calling them DLC packs anymore because those are usually paid for. This would probably be free because it's mostly just a set of instructions and maybe some new like clothing assets. Like if I added a new job in, say construction worker, I could add a construction uniform in and a file that just has the information about the job, what could happen, what random events might happen, how it would affect we'll call for the sake of argument, each of the colonists a pawn, how it would affect the pawn's mood or whatever. And I could just add that file in, and then now it's a job for a pawn to take at some point when they go through the action of looking for a new job. And you could just keep adding onto a game like that. As long as, you know, it can load all the data in the memory beforehand, it should be fine, I hope. Mind you, in the sense of a village versus, say, a city or something, the jobs might be different, so you don't have to have all the data loaded at once. But it's just way too much data. That's the reason that I haven't gotten very far in building said game. I actually have started working on that game in the sense that I have a land mass that can, well, it doesn't really do very good generation yet, but that's the starting point, is to randomly generate land that will hopefully be usable. Then I need to add buildings that can be constructed, because yes, they'd have to construct their own buildings. And then I probably start programming the pawns as simple creatures at first. But that's kind of giving them their own form of AI as well. I mean, it is, because that's originally how AI terms were used in games. Is anything that's self-running to an extent. I don't really remember what the exact term was referred to back then. AI was commonly used in games, though, not like it is nowadays. The terms are very different things. I don't even know what they have a different name for it now in games. It's like they don't call it procedurally generated anymore. It's not procedurally generated content. It's like procedurally created something. I can't remember what. And the AI terminology is slightly different too. Because it just gets too confusing with the terms they're now using elsewhere. I'm a sucker for punishment, though, so the reason that I haven't finished any game yet is I have... I have three games that I started working on and haven't gotten around to getting anywhere near ready for like a test, sadly. Some of it's because I'm still learning, because I'm building two of them in, and I'll probably move the third one into it at some point, but two of them into Unreal Engine, just because I used to use Unity, but it's a pain in the butt to use now. So I'm trying to use Unreal Engine instead, but I don't really know how to do certain things in it yet, so I keep getting stumped on that. And then, of course, I have a lack of 3D models that I want to use, one of which requires me to actually put work into those dragons, because the dragons are going to be in that game. The game called Roaring Depths. And it's a colony builder again, a side-scrolling colony builder this time. But it's kind of like Oxygen Not Included, sort of. Except instead of, what do they call them in that, replicants? It's dragons. Your colonists are going to be all dragons. And each dragon, depending on its type and age and whatnot, has different abilities. And you have to hatch new dragons when you want to be able to do certain things. But then you have to also feed those dragons and whatnot, so you have to make sure you keep your colony going. And as you're digging around and making your own cave system for enlarging your cave for more shinies and whatnot, you have the chance of coming across new things, like buried eggs is one thing. And there's a special thing if you go far enough into the ground at a certain area that you can find. Things like that. But then you also have problems of like people trying to invade your I've forgotten what they call it. A lair, I guess? Dragon's lair? I should know this as, you know, being a dragon-based streamer. Yeah. The lair gets raided by external parties that think that the dragons are bad guys. Because I like to go with the lore that dragons are heavily misunderstood in games like Dungeons and Dragons. Well, actually, D&D doesn't really depict dragons as necessarily evil, like people think. There's certain dragons that are evil, but they're not all evil. And in other laws, dragons are just considered evil creatures. And I'm playing on that in this game in the sense that there's adventurers that think that they're uh, doing good by coming and attacking the dragon's lair. Or some of them are just, looking for free money because dragons do actually keep a substantial hoard in their lair. And so you have to find ways to defend against them and such like that. There's going to be story elements that you can also choose to take in the sense of like, if certain adventurers come in that aren't just looking to murder you, you could probably talk to them and find a way to get out of having to deal with them trying to steal all your money or whatever. That's the plans anyway. Again, I haven't gotten very far in that because without having placeholder models, it's really hard to get certain aspects of the game out quickly. And I don't like just using random models that make no sense. At the moment, I'm using square blocks, which doesn't make a lot of sense either, but it's like, it's the most... I just treat them like very, very low polygon dragons. Okay? I mean, they're so low that they're just squares, but still, or rectangles, really. But I'd rather have something that's actually bounding around on 4 legs or whatever. And have wings in the case of the ones that can fly. Because I'm doing the concept of like wyverns and stuff, and the smaller ones can glide, but they don't specifically fly anywhere. Which limits their range. I think I lose a lot of people's interest when I talk about my ideas for video games. If I had something to show you, you'd probably be way more excited. Sadly, like my drawings and my stories, which never see the light of day, until they're at a level acceptable for me to want to display them, I just can't bring myself to do it. And I mean, in a lot of cases, that day will never come. I'll just never get around to actually getting it to the level I'm happy with. Just ask anyone who draws anything or writes anything. 90% of the time, the stuff they make doesn't see the light of day. They're just not happy enough with it. We are, after all, our own worst critics. I would like to get it to the point at some point, though, where I'd be able to show everyone. I don't know how many people would be interested in seeing it, but still, it'd be nice to show off to those who actually are interested. I was supposed to change games and I forgot. I got distracted talking about video games, creative works and whatnot. I blame Necro, because Necro's not here anymore, and you always blame the one who isn't there. They can't defend themselves. See? Logic. Necro probably is still there, and right now he's like, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Oh, they think they're being clever by saying things like, remove the space, the URL will get blocked, and nope. Suck it, bot. Dun, dun. I can't reach that well enough. That's the reason we have to use things that check for certain keywords. In fact, Necro was saying before that you got to be careful. The reason I shouldn't have it banned is because someone might just be saying it, the phrase innocently. I used to have a slightly different phrase that I was using, but then the bot stopped using that specific phrase and it's now very generic. But I have no choice but to block that specific term, those specific words. And yeah, it probably does mean someone's going to get accidentally banned when they say it, you know, either accidentally or intentionally as a joke. But I really need to put that in my list of rules or something. Maybe I'll make a banned words list for people to look at and know not to use. Then it's their own fault if they get themselves banned. Because it's a banned word. Don't use it. I know that's just water, but it bugs me. You know? Because I wasn't 100% when it ticked over. I tell you what though, there are times when I don't see bots for like a month or so, and then they'll suddenly show up every single stream. I wonder, because it seems to happen when I'm like sick and I can't stream for a few days. I wonder if they're just looking for repetitive streams. Like if you stream multiple times in a row, they're more likely to post in your stream. Not that it really matters, but I'm curious either way. I don't know why people even bother with those bots. They're just wasting their own time. Even if someone doesn't block the messages that show up, no one's really that... Well, I say no one's really that dumb to click on it or to type it in, but there are some that don't, that are a little, so not call them dumb, they're naive when it comes to the internet. They do not understand that there are many people on the internet that are not looking to help you. They are looking to hinder you. And it sounds like they're legitimate. They're not. My mother fell for a scammer once, talking about realistic toy dogs. Dogs that looked like they were real, but they were supposed to be robotic dogs that would just hop around and stuff. But the thing is that the video they were using was just a real dog. And my mum believed it because she didn't know any better. When someone told her it was a robot, she just believed them. That was well before I taught her about trusting, well, pretty much anyone on the internet. Now she doesn't do anything, she doesn't purchase anything from somewhere she doesn't rely, she doesn't trust. I've given her some places she can buy from, essentially. That's fine regardless, because they're monitored heavily and whatnot. But other than that, if she wants to buy something, she'll call me first. If somebody suggests that she should get something, she'll call me first. If she gets a phone call from a provider saying that the bill is late and she hasn't paid it, and she's like, I have, she'll call me first. He just does not trust anyone now, and I'm like, I feel bad that she has to be so skeptical about everything. But sometimes that's just the only way you can handle the internet. Be skeptical of everyone. I'm sorry, but, you know, the Nigerian prince is not going to give you money, alright? Just not going to happen. I see, talking about scams, I see, occasionally when I'm scrolling around on TikTok, a live stream will come up of a guy from somewhere in the Middle East. I don't actually know where because I never bothered to look that far into it. And it looks like he's giving money away to people. Just like, not money, but, you know, like, whatever the TikTok currency thing is. Looks like he's recharging their account with, like, thousands of dollars worth of whatever the hell it is. And everyone's all like, oh, yeah, pick me, sort of thing, pick me. And then someone's usually points out, oh, he's only picking people who are already donating the currency to him. So he's pretty much just refunding it, which I don't think is the case either. But then you look long enough and you realize the video is on a loop. It's not live. And it's just the same people, probably people he knows, like people who are in on it, donating to him a certain amount at a certain time. And then the videos just have him giving money to them, or at least it seems that's what's happening, so that he can convince other people to donate money to him. It's what I gather from it. And it's like, it's so obvious, and yet TikTok doesn't do anything about it. No. All I have to say is be careful out there for scams, because you'd be surprised how many people are really good at scamming you nowadays. I think my favorite scam email is the email that goes out that is like, we've caught you, I've recorded you at this, like, looking at this naughty website or something. I accessed your network and I recorded you on camera watching these things, and I'm going to send it to everyone you know. Whenever I get those, I laugh my ass off, because I'm like, first of all, what magic camera is he talking about? I don't have a camera facing at me at all times. I have a camera, it's not currently facing at me. Mostly because my computer is in my bedroom. I do not want to have it in a case where I accidentally forget to turn a camera off if I'm talking to someone, and then they see my junk. Just, I don't want to have to, I don't want to put them through that pain, alright? So, I find it hilarious whenever they do that, because I don't have a camera from the record. My brother's response is, okay, go on then. Because his thoughts are, yeah, even if it were true, it's not really a him problem. It's going to be everyone he knows problem that has to deal with seeing him naked, assumingly jacking it. And all I can think is, he's not wrong. I mean, it's nasty, but it's not exactly something out of the realm of what my family would expect. They'd be like, well, yeah, it's just people jacking it, so what? Everybody does that. And the whatever, he's always talking about, like, being some terrible video. It's like, yeah, I mean, most people wouldn't believe it anyway. But the scam attempts are just sad when it's like that. Like, they don't put a lot of thought into it. They're really going for people who are paranoid and don't know enough. Because I know that there have been people out there who have been scammed by that sort of thing, and that sucks. But it's like they're paranoid because they feel like, oh, you know, some important person in their community, and they're like, oh, I don't want anyone to find out that I'm a normal person just like everyone else, type thing. And it's pretty shitty because they'll go and end up giving money to someone that hasn't done a damn thing to deserve it, just because they're embarrassed. But that happens rarely. Most of the time I don't think anyone really falls for spam emails anymore. Old people is really the only ones that kind of get affected by it, and it's why I hate scammers immensely, is that they really do prey on older people who don't understand technology. And it's such a dick move. Anyway, enough ranting about scammers. I'm going to swap over to more Outer Worlds 2 after this. I'm probably going to ignore some of the side quests this time and aim for a couple more main quests. Either character quests. I still got to finish that quest of Niles just so I can get him out of my party. And I want to get up to that Vox relay station place. Whatever the hell it is. To do the quests that are up there, because there's a few of them. I feel like I've gone off the beaten track a little too much, and I'm going to have to go back to some of the places I've already been because I'll have a quest that'll go there at some point. I've just kind of ignored it because I've gone my own direction. I looked up to see how rare those keys are, the cipher keys or whatever, opening the boxes. They are really rare. Like I think there's only like 25 in the game or something. So I don't even know if you can open all the boxes. You might be able to, but you might not. Luckily, I don't want to open all the boxes because I've already got some boxes on the ship I don't care about. I know of one box I want, and it'll probably be the armor I'll stick with the entire rest of the game. Because, again, I'm kind of... I do love the design of the Outer Worlds 2 as an RPG. But their item... Like, their unique items are kind of lacking. Like, all the armors are practically identical. Some of them are identical, like, stats just look different. And all the ones that look different aren't worth keeping. They're just vanity items, really. And the armor, you pretty much find the one kind of armor you want on this island, this Paradise Island. And you can stick with it for the rest of the game, from my understanding. There isn't, like, better armor upgrades along the way. You can find the best type of armor in the game in that first island and then never touch anything else again. So, sadly, it means that there isn't a lot to save up your money or parts for. Which is why I've got so much money at the moment, is I've been selling a lot of the spare black powder and scraps I've been getting. But getting my butt kicked for the fun of it. It's just... There isn't a lot to spend it on other than healing items, which I don't really need a lot of, because at the moment, because I'm playing story mode, I'm not really getting into a mass amount of fights, unless I'm intentionally trying to for money. And I haven't used enough of the shunts or the maglocks to make it worthwhile to have to craft any. But I could if I wanted to, because I have no crafting materials. Yeah, it's a little lacking on things to spend your money on or to craft. I really wish they had more types of mods and stuff to aim for. Maybe that'll be in a future DLC or something, but it limits the shiny collection, which is for me very disappointing to find out. I want more shinies. I will likely be only playing Outer Worlds for another couple of streams at most in the near future. I may even end up playing it off stream sometime soon because I don't know how much longer people are going to want to keep watching it. But I have, as I've mentioned a few times now, at least 3 full games to play. I've got a few demos as well. That'll take up a good week and a half or so, depending on how slow I play the games. And how much is actually in the games, because one of them's early access that's still getting content added. When I get to it, it depends on how much they've added by that point. And I kind of want to buy the damn Tavern Keeper game. It is a little bit pricey, even though I think it's 20% off right now. But it really does look like a fun game to play. I'd have to check to see how much, because it's in early access as well. I need to find out how much of the game is actually released. If it's only like that first map, I may wait. Dun, 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 dun. On the streets. Do, 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 do. There's a little step here. They will fall. Always complaining. Money is definitely a problem, but that's because I lack it. It'd be a pain in the butt to reach that without having to bring the damn ladder around. I don't want to have to keep moving a ladder to get the edge here, so I'm gonna do the sneak tactic. I'm gonna Minecraft this bitch and just ride the rail here, right on the edge. Can't crouch to do it because I get even less aim. But if I move very, very slowly and I'm walking on the foam, it actually makes you walk slower. So you won't fall, you aren't likely to fall off as easy. Pom, pom, pom. Creep around the corner. That sun is getting very low. Gonna poke me in the eye in a minute. Already heating the room up like crazy. I am not looking forward to summer, I tell you what. Summer is going to murder me this year. Not only am I way out of shape compared to the last couple of years, last couple of years I've hidden inside most days because I'm practically a hermit at this point. I'm not proud of that fact, but I'll get into that right now. And I'll probably have to go outside a decent amount. I don't have to go outside during Christmas, because wherever I go, no one comes to my place for Christmas. I always go to someone else's. We don't have the space here, and they don't have air conditioning, and it's always so hot as hell on Christmas. I sweat like crazy. I hate it. I am not a fan of Australian temperatures, and I know it's not the hottest it can get in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but I have never been a fan of the heat. Just interesting, because like I was a massive fan of the beach growing up, but I hate the sun because the sun hates me, and I hate the heat. It also comes from the sun. And yet you have no choice but to deal with that when you go to the beach all the time. I'd like to go to the beach a bit this year, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm standing like right off the edge here. Apparently this game has the ability to abseil. Must be on a different level. I have to figure out how that works though. You can clean walls whilst hanging off a rope. Because that would be handy. Maybe it's a thing you buy in the store. Wash your cosmetics, wash your equipment. I mean, they're all cosmetics and stuff, so I guess it has to be in here. Just the sprayers, which I haven't even bothered to buy any of. Like, I don't even know if there's a reason to. Like, it doesn't have, from what I can tell, it doesn't have different stats. They have different heads. But, I mean, this one and this one have the exact same, almost. That's the only different style of head they have. I could do medium duty ones. Can't duty. If I really cared, but... Eh. And it's also kind of expensive. Not really... Like, it doesn't tell you what the difference is. That has the exact same description as that. They're both turbo nozzles. So I guess the only difference is that they go on a different handle. That's the Prime Vista and that's the Urban. Is it the same for this? Do I have to just not care at all? Yeah, I can go the cheaper model and save myself money. I don't really know if there's much of a difference. Provides power comparable to heavy duty washers of its competitors, but at the cost of area of effect. So I just go the normal one because that one has a massive downside. Swell Force, which apparently is just a specialized one. I don't know if I'd bother with that. I will buy that though. But then I also have to buy like all the head attachments, which is a pain in the ass. I just bought that one, right? Didn't just buy the wrong one, did I? I think I bought the wrong one. Shit. I think I bought that one and I meant to buy this one. Well, crap. Yep. Whoopsie daisy. Oh no, it says sell for, so I do own that. And they're just extenders. I only need that one and that one, really. Maybe that just for the extension. Can I change my equipment now? Do I have to... Do I have to change it back at this? I think I have to change it outside. Maybe not. There we go. Got a head I don't actually care about on it though. Eh. Magic ladder that doesn't ever get covered in soap. It's that soapophobic, or whatever the hell you would call a thing that is like hydrophobic but for soaps. Alright, I'm going to finish off this rim and then I'm going to... Phrasing. And then I'm going to swap games. Because I just realized it's almost been 3 separate breaks now. 3 hours where I haven't taken a break. I really need to. Oopsie. That's alright, I'm going to use this. Much quicker from down here when you have the extendo rod on. This actually is a little bit quicker. I think that's all of it. Yep, I keep not jumping there. Come on, I can make it up there. Yep. Nope, okay, I can't. I can, however, probably do it this way. Ah. Even got a chance now. Alright, I can't jump up there. Parkour! Parkour! Alright, I just want to clean this thing off. I want to see if it's actually a window. I think it is. But, I mean, it's supposed to be a window, but it doesn't look like one. It should only take me half a second to do with the new head. Well, the new sprayer gun entirely. But the power head. Yeah, yeah. Hey, look, it is reflective glass under there. Who would have thought? Ding! I have no reflection. I am a vampire. Alright, what are you looking at? Yeah, I'll spray you down. Alrighty. 1 minute before the ad break's gonna ding at me. Manual save. And is there an exit button here? There. I don't think I've actually exited the game whilst in the middle of a level yet. Alrighty. I'm going to take a 3-minute break because it's that time. It's been that time three times in a row now. 2 times. Well, no, this will be the 3rd one. Just realized the ding didn't go off. And then I'm going to be jumping into some Outer Worlds again. I just realized that I said I was going to do some main missions, but there's a couple of side missions I want to do first. Anyway, I'll be back in 3 minutes.